Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Pipes, Tattoos, and Conversations. I'm Tattooed Piper. Today, we are going to review Sunbear Navy Cask. I've never done a small batch on this channel before, so let's get in this video. All right, I'm really excited for this one. I have never had Sunbear. This is like the 5th or 6th release of Sunbear, and I've never had one because it's really hard to get small batch blends in this state. The state of Washington, as you know, does not allow shipping or ordering online to our homes because, well, I won't get into that. We won't get into politics here. But they do not allow ordering online or through the mail. So I have to wait till I can either have a friend bring it to me or I can buy it in my local store. And so this is my first iteration of Sunbear that I've had. Now, I've heard past Sunbear. Some are great, some are not so great. I have smoked a little bit of this to prepare for this review. And I will have to say that this is a very good blend. So I'm just going to start by saying that. Now, Ben, my podcast co-host, and I are going to do a review of this on our podcast. But as you know, we don't go super in-depth. We just kind of stay lighthearted and have a good time with our podcast. So when we review this, it won't be as in-depth as I'm going in now. But I was able to get 3 tins. I'm sending him an unopened one. I have an unopened one, and then I've sent him half of this one. That's why the flakes or the tin is half empty of this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to review this fresh tin on our podcast, and then in 1, 2, 5, 10, we don't know how many years we're going to let it age, we're going to review it again. We are dropping episode 30 tomorrow, so we are going to probably review this on episode 32 or 33. Probably 33. I think we've got something already planned for 32. So anyway, look forward to listening to that. And then in 5 years or whatever, episode 268, whatever it is, look forward to the review of Aged Sunbear Navy Cask at that time. So anyway, let's get this started. So you have to dry this a little bit. It does come pretty moist. STACY from BESPOKE Works made me my little Eagles valet tray. And as you know with the valet trays, it does snap and fold flat for easy travel. But this is very, very nice. I believe it's called BESPOKE Works. I will leave a link to her website below, and that way you guys can find her. But she makes excellent leather products, so go check her out. But you do have to let this dry. Look at these flakes. These flakes are absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at me, Mascazoro. As you know, we're really lighthearted on this channel, lighthearted on the podcast, so if we goof around a little bit, then we goof around a little bit. But these flakes are absolutely beautiful. Broken flakes. Some of them are, well, I was going to say a little more held together, and then that one fell apart. Some of them are a little more held together, but beautiful, beautiful flakes. The tin description, basically, it's hard for me to read because I don't have my glasses on, but it's bright and red Virginias with 2020 Thai and 2018 Turkish Izmir grades. Those are both Oriental tobaccos, so this is going to be a Virginia Oriental blend. And then there is a topping on it, which is honey. And what they do is they take honey, they put it on the top. But in this special edition, they aged the honey in rum barrels that were originally whiskey barrels. So they were whiskey barrels, then somebody got the whiskey barrels and aged rum in them, and then somebody got the rum barrels and aged the honey in them, and then they put the honey on this. So, and then there's a little bit of, I want to say tequila that they Yeah, whispers of silver tequila and elderflower lend to further complexity. So with the tequila, the rum, the whiskey, the honey, the elderflower, it's very flowery, very sweet, very, I wouldn't say very, because it's not like you're sucking on a piece of honey cake or anything like that, but it's sweeter, and that just lends to the flavor of it. So anyway, let's get the tin note of this. Instantly, right off the bat, you get bready, yeasty. Those Virginia components come right through, right on the top. Very sourdough. Very sourdough. This honestly reminds me of if you take a piece of sourdough bread, you toast it, and then you put butter and honey on the top of it. That's exactly what this tin note is. Maybe with a little bit of bee pollen for those of you that use that for your allergies. By the way, speaking of allergies, excuse my throat. I'm getting over some of those allergies and cold symptoms, and COVID's been going around, and I had that like 2 weeks ago, and my vocal cords have still not completely completely healed from that, and so my voice is a little bit raspy still. But yeah, I'm getting very much bready, yeasty, honey. A little bit of the booze. You can definitely smell like the rum in there and the tequila. More of the tequila than the rum, as they said the rum is kind of a lighter encasement of the honey. And so it just lightly flavored the honey. But it's definitely there. And it's more of a spiced rum is what you're getting. But yes, those Izmir Orientals definitely lend a kind of fruity, what would you call it, like flower shop kind of vibe to it. It's not crazy strong like you would get in Nightcap or anything like that, but it's there. Man, it's definitely got a great tin note. It definitely, to me, it just reminds me of fresh sourdough bread that's been toasted with honey and butter on top. Oh, it's so good, so good. Now, as I said, I've been smoking this to prepare for this, and I've been smoking it in different size bowls. And I will tell you something, when you smoke it in a thinner, taller bowl, the Virginias come out a little bit more. You get a little more of the bready qualities to them. If you smoke them in a medium-sized bowl like this Camoys Bulldog that I have here that was made for Tinderbox, you get a little bit more of the toppings that come out in it. A little more honey, that kind of stuff. A little bit more floral as well comes through with these medium-sized bowls. I have actually found that the medium-sized bowls are definitely better for the this Sunbear than the smaller bowls. And if you use a bowl that's really big, like you would normally use for an English, you really taste more of the topping and more of the Orientals, and the Virginias kind of take a little bit more of a back seat. A little bit of the grassiness comes through more than the breadiness of the Virginias if you use a bigger bowl, but to me, these medium-sized 3/4 inch bowls, maybe 0.77 of an inch bowls, really lend to a good smoke with this. This is very good. Now, off the Charlight, I smoked a little bit of this bowl earlier for just so everybody knows. But off the Charlight, when I first started, it was instant honey. Like, not like you took a spoonful of honey. It was reminiscent of instant honey. Like, you could just taste the honey right on your tongue. And then the breadiness came through. And then a little bit of the grassiness came through, and then some of the floral notes. That's basically how it started. It basically tasted like you were eating a piece of sourdough bread with honey on top of it in a field, like if you were at a picnic or something like that. Now, as you smoke it down, the honey kind of stays with the tobacco down through, at least through halfway to 3/4 of the way for me. And the bready notes really stay with it. The lightness, that kind of airy, light, outside in a field kind of goes away, and it kind of has more of a log cabin, eating a piece of toast for your breakfast or your lunch, whatever it is, maybe a small snack in a cabin, maybe kind of at the end of summer, beginning of fall vibe. Now, this does smoke hot. Of course, I've been smoking it this last week. It's been 80s, high 80s, low 90s this whole week, so this garage is stifling hot. If you could probably see, I look tired. That's because it's been really hot, and I'm not a fan of the heat. Once it gets about 70 degrees, that's about the top of what I want it to be. I'm a 40 degrees to 70 degrees individual. That's my favorite temperature range. So for me, when I first lit this, it was about 85 degrees, and I could instantly feel the heat in my mouth, and it was hot. And so I knew I was going to have to smoke it slow, especially being a Virginia blend. You're going to have to smoke this one slow to get the full flavors. So for me, forget about big clouds of smoke. Forget about those Cavendish style blends where you blow out, nice clouds of smoke. This is a wispy smoke, at least for me. This is a very nice, light, airy, summertime wispy smoke. Now, Virginias I usually like to reserve for the wintertime because they smoke so hot. I like to smoke them in cooler weather. This does have a summertime vibe flavor to it, though. So if I was to smoke it in winter, it would be on those days where I was missing the late summer, early fall, and wanting to kind of get those bumblebee flower and sitting on the porch watching the sunset vibes, if you know what I mean. So that's really what you get with this. So it is a good summer blend if you guys can handle hotter blends in the summer and you're not as prone to tongue bite. I'm very prone to tongue bite, so smoking it slow and smoking it in colder weather is definitely going to be the trick for me on this blend. Now, I have found that as I've gotten closer to the bottom of the bowl, the honey does dissipate, and you get more of a escudo-like presence. So it's a little bit more smoky. It's a little more musty. As it gets to the bottom of the bowl, those Virginias turn a little bit more darker. They turn a little bit more, I want to give it like a sitting in a bar at the end of the night, having a whiskey and smoking a nice blend that to round out the evening. That's kind of what I get the feeling of. It's a little more smoky, a little more dense toward the bottom of the bowl. But I think that's typical with most Virginias. Most Virginias for me start airy at the top and work their way down to musty at the bottom of the bowl. And that's just kind of been my general consensus with Virginias. And I love that. I love the fact that it kind of starts out as a nice morning outside with the flowers, with the bees, with the birds, and it goes through to like lunchtime where you're eating a piece of toast with honey on it, and then it goes at the very end is like, after dinner, sitting at the bar, having a beer or sitting in front of your campfire or your fireplace, whatever it is in your log cabin, having a nightcap, your night beer, and just smoking something that's just going to put you to bed. So with this one too, I have found that because it smokes a little hot, you need to give it some dry time, and you're going to have to relight it quite a bit. But all in all, a very good blend. If you guys like Virginias and a little bit of Orientals, this small batch Sunbear is definitely going to be for you. If you love floral, honey, grassy, bready, those kind of flavors, it's definitely going to be for you. You can taste the booze on this, but it's very light, very up in the wispies, as I like to say, very on the back of your palate. The boozy characters kind of come through toward the end as more of a lingering sensation in your mouth, kind of like an aftertaste, but it's very nice laid down on your tongue. You can hear my neighbor putting his trash out. But as you can see, very wispy, not a whole lot of smoke coming through. Anyway, my friends, if this sounds like a blend for you, go out and give it a try. Very nice, very lovely blend for me. It's a very nice summertime blend if you're smoking it in weather that's summery but not too hot. So I would recommend early fall, maybe late spring, somewhere in the 60-degree range in Washington is about what I would recommend for this tobacco. Anyway, my friends, hopefully you guys have a great week, a great weekend. Give your family hugs, tell them you love them, and we will be back with you the next time we see you. And check out the Meerschaum Mafia podcast. Pretty much all your listening platforms are going to have it except for Apple Podcasts. So be blessed, my friends. Cheers.